Hello, beautiful people of the fragrance community. Mike here with iSMELL. Hope this video is finding you well. For those of y'all who are not already aware, iSMELL is in fact a channel dedicated to all things fragrance related, as well as connecting with like-minded individuals within this community. If that sounds like something that you think you would be interested in, at risk of sounding cheesy here, I am going to encourage you to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. I know a lot of people do not like to hear this. However, the truth of the matter is that it does strengthen the YouTube algorithm. Not to mention, it ensures that you are able to stay tuned in to future content that I upload. So, with that out of the way, the formalities are now out of the way. Let's go ahead and jump into today's video. In today's video, we will be doing a full and in-depth review of a fragrance that I am absolutely enthralled with. It comes from the car manufacturer Bentley, and it is none other than Bentley Absolute. We have a ton of information to get through in this review, you guys. I'll see y'all on the other side of the intro. Okay, so Bentley Absolute is a fragrance that was launched in 2014. The nose behind this fragrance is going to be legendary master perfumer Michel Almerac. He has a wide array of fragrances underneath his belt. It's almost easier in this case to list the houses and the companies that he has produced fragrances for. Some of the houses are going to include designer houses Dior, Montblanc, Burberry, and Giorgio Armani, as well as niche houses such as Bond No. 9, even car manufacturers such as Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, and obviously Bentley. The house that is most relative to this review is going to be the designer house of Gucci, as Bentley Absolute is highly regarded as being strikingly similar to a now discontinued fragrance from Gucci. It came out in 2003 and it's called Gucci Pour Homme. Do take notice that Gucci Pour Homme was also perfumed by Michel Almerac. The only difference is, like I said, it's now discontinued and it's not as easy to find. So when you do find it, it's going anywhere and upwards to $600. Unfortunately, I do not have a sample of Gucci Pour Homme to compare to Bentley Absolute, but it is worth noting that Gucci Pour Homme has been upvoted over 600 times via Fragrantica as being similar to Bentley Absolute. So that warrants some appeal, not to mention that Bentley Absolute is only $60. So for those two reasons, Bentley Absolute is a fragrance worth checking out. Okay, so before we talk about what I smell on this fragrance, let's talk a bit about the presentation. In this case, I do have a box. You will notice it is a black and gold box. In the front of the box, we'll have the name of the company, the name of the fragrance, the concentration and size of the fragrance. The back will have the ingredients, and then on the bottom, there will be a batch code present, and it also says Lalique Beauty. That is important to note because, as it turns out, Bentley fragrances do fall under the Lalique Beauty portfolio, the same umbrella as Lalique Beauty. Therefore, Lalique Beauty is going to be in charge of the creation, the marketing, as well as the distribution of Bentley fragrances. The bottle itself is going to pretty much mirror the box. It will be an all black bottle. If you get a Bentley Absolute fragrance with the gold top, consider yourself lucky because that is a Harrod exclusive. Most of the bottles in circulation now are going to be all black. The bottom is a very dense glass. The top part is a kind of flimsy, thin tin/metal, but I don't hold it against them because this is a beautiful fragrance. The name of the fragrance will be right here. You will have a batch code present at the bottom, and then the top does fit snugly. It's a nice heavy cap. It will say Bentley right here, and it also will say Bentley fragrances in the middle of the cap. This kind of looks like an eye, but what it's meant to convey is the knob within a Bentley car. I can't vouch for that because I don't have a Bentley, but yeah, all in all, it's a beautiful fragrance. You will see the logo, the Bentley logo right there. I'm not sure if that conveys. This would be an instance where I would recommend getting the full presentation because it looks much better like that versus like this. I do find that the atomizer is quite small when compared to the rest of the fragrance. Bentley Absolute is classified as a woody oriental fragrance, and for those of y'all who do not know what that means, it's basically a fancy way of saying that it is a spicy, sweet, woody fragrance. Top notes on this fragrance are going to include ginger, pink peppercorns, and frankincense. The heart notes are going to include papyrus, sandalwood, and Atlas cedar, and then the base notes will have ambergris, oud, and moss present. I'm gonna give y'all a couple sprays, let y'all know what I smell on this fragrance. Just be advised that the atomizer does not rank as the best in my collection, nor does it rank as the worst in my collection. The distribution is fair and it sprays rather evenly. Okay, so the opening is going to hit you with a healthy dose and very prominent pink peppercorn note, which is not to be confused with black pepper. Although they're both similar in the sense that they provide a spicy aromatic freshness to the fragrance, the pink peppercorn provides a bit of sweetness that the note of black pepper lacks. It's also going to be blended with olibanum, and olibanum has peppery facets itself, so it does work as a very good transitional note. Olibanum, also known as frankincense, is a balsamic resin which is extracted from a very specific species of trees. Ultimately, the frankincense in this fragrance lends the type of complexity and adds just a tinge of bitter sweetness, which is almost reminiscent and akin to a citrus accord. Okay, so after several minutes, you are going to be inundated with an amalgamation of woody aromas, which include papyrus, sandalwood, and Atlas cedar. This is going to give the fragrance a lightly sweet but dry, dusty demeanor. The best way I know how to illustrate this is to imagine walking through the lumber section at a Home Depot right after a fresh shipment. The scent profile in Bentley Absolute is fairly straightforward. There's not going to be much development after this stage. However, to the trained nose, in the late dry down, you will also be able to pick up on oudy facets as well as an ambergris, which is going to warm this fragrance up quite a bit. I do feel Bentley Absolute is going to be geared towards fall and winter. Cold weather is going to be optimal for this fragrance. I do feel like the utility of this fragrance is geared towards daytime wear in cold weather. I also need to admit that I am a notorious oversprayer, and I did overspray this fragrance the first time I wore it, and I can confirm that it will absolutely choke a room out. So for those notorious oversprayers out there, do hold back on your sprays because it does fill a room, and because it's so dry, it will choke a room out and you'll choke yourself out at the same time. That transitions perfectly into the performance because I did quite a bit of research on this fragrance before purchasing it myself, and I can confirm that the performance is better than what other reviewers would lead you to believe. On my skin, I get a solid 2 hours of projection on this fragrance. After that, it becomes closer to a skin scent, but it's a skin scent that you can smell on yourself for a solid 5 to 6 hours. I do not feel like that is bad performance for the price point of $60, and considering that I do find this to be a daytime fragrance, it's perfect for me because I can still wear a nighttime fragrance, a more spicy fragrance, once I'm done wearing this fragrance. I also do feel like, in all honesty, this fragrance, although I haven't experimented with yet, seeing as it's so woody, it would be the type of fragrance that you could layer. Okay, so to answer the question of do I recommend, that's kind of hard to say because I do not feel like this is a mass-pleasing scent profile that everybody is going to enjoy. It's also not a super compliment monster hype beast type fragrance. This is a true and true woody fragrance that smells like Home Depot. Like, it smells like pencil shavings, literally. So if that's a scent profile that you already don't have on your shelf, then by all means, pull the trigger. If you've always wanted to try Gucci Pour Homme, but you don't have $500-600 to spend, and you have $60 to spend, and it is compared to Gucci Pour Homme enough to warrant the purchase, by all means, pull the trigger. At the end of the day, you're not going to be able to find this at Ulta, Sephora, Macy's, Dillard's, JCPenney's. This type of scent profile is not the mass-produced type scent profile. So, to answer your question, as a frag head, as a hardcore frag head, yeah, I do believe it's blind buy worthy, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be a mass-pleasing scent profile. All right, you guys, that pretty much wraps up my full and in-depth review of Bentley Absolute. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoy fragrance-related content, if you found value in this video specifically, I am going to encourage you one last time to subscribe to my channel. Do take note that the winner for the Zaharoff decant giveaway never claimed his prize, unfortunately. I will be giving him one more week to claim his prize. Otherwise, I will be picking an alternate winner. I want to give those decants away to somebody that is regularly watching the channel. Listen, we just passed 300 subscribers. I truly love and appreciate the support. It's important that I convey that to y'all. We have a lot of exciting content coming down the pipe, so do make sure you stay tuned. Until next time, you guys, y'all take care, stay safe. Bye.